Okay, everybody, how you guys doing today? Paula and I are here to talk to you a little bit about horticulture and how it can benefit us during this COVID-19 pandemic that we're going through right now. So, as you all know, a lot of us are here at home making the best of our situation. We're doing the best we can to survive and get by these tough times. Today we're going to give you some ideas on how you can do that and also get some benefits from it. This is something you can do with you and your family.
Hey you guys. So the image we have in front of us now is a representation of an herb garden. If you guys know, an herb garden is going to be what we're going to be doing together today. Now, you can see that there are many ways of creating one, but we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about horticulture. Horticulture, or in other words, gardening, has a lot of benefits that we can have just by doing the activity in itself, right? From what you guys can see here, there's soil, right? One of the benefits that we can get from gardening is that it's actually a form of exercise. Manipulating the soil into a pot, and even just working outside for long periods of time with the tools that we have, that takes a toll on our body, and it's actually, after a long day of gardening, can actually lead us to being sore. So this is actually a great form of exercise. Another benefit that can be done with gardening is that this is an activity that can be done alone or with family. And you can do it together to promote social skills. So if you want to increase socialization, why don't you just try gardening with somebody? Trying to work together, increasing that task initiation, and just having a good time together and working together. That teamwork is always a great part of gardening. And lastly, the last benefit of gardening would be to promote sensory skills. So sensory skills. You can smell a plant. You can smell an herb. You can taste an herb, and you can put it in your food by tasting it. You can feel an herb. You can touch the texture of the garden, and you can actually feel how rough or soft a leaf is. Here are one of the ways that we can have a garden. So in this project, since we are doing an herb garden, do you guys see the different pots that we see? These are one of the ways that we can have an herb garden in a small pot like these. Do you guys see the different herbs? Here is one. Here is another one. And we can have them several different herbs in one large pot, or we can have them by themselves, thriving on their own, like this. If you wanted to make it into a nice, cute art project, you can always paint these pots. But it's always good to have a hole on the bottom of them so that there is water that can be drained from this. Another way that you can have a garden is through a raised garden bed. Now, these are very good for our fellow participants because these allow for ease of access. Because it is raised, it is accessible for you to reach them in a wheelchair. So if we pay attention here, it may be a little bit blurry, the picture, but you can definitely see the different colors of the different herbs that we find in this raised herb garden. You can raise it to however height that is comfortable to yourself, or you can have them close to your house where they are lower, or if you're going to be in a chair and outside in your awning, you can just be sitting in your chair and reaching down on them. However you feel most comfortable, always keep in mind of the space that you have around you, making sure that you don't have a raised garden bed that's wide in a small patio area. You want to make sure it has access to plenty of sun. You see how bright this picture is? Access to plenty of sun, as you can tell. This is a visual example of what it is like to have a raised garden bed that you can actually have that is accessible to you. It does not necessarily have to be this big as this gentleman has it, but it's the idea of the fact that it is raised to his eye level, making it easy for him to use the tools in his hand and to touch the dirt, dig up anything he has to dig up, or take out any of the weeds that he needs to take out. This is another example, but this one's just a little bit lower than the gentleman's was, but the same concept. She has the tools around her where she can easily grasp. She has it below eye level so she can clearly manipulate the soil, touch the soil, and she has accessibility to this garden bed, as the previous gentleman did. This is an example of a small garden. This is a way that you can have a garden in a single pot. Now, we saw an example of a raised flower garden. We saw a big flower garden. But now, you see how this is one pot, right? But it has one. This is the same one. 2, 3, 4 different herbs in one of them, in one single pot. This is probably going to be the most easiest to care for because you only have to water one single pot rather than watering multiple pots. And this is great if you want to have a small garden and you don't have a big, huge backyard or a wide open space. You can always have something small like this and it'll work out just fine. You don't have to have everything to have a garden. It can be as simple as this. This is another way that you can have and make your garden. You can use different materials that you find around your house. As you can tell, this is a tin can, which you can find any of these tin cans. You can recycle them from old cans that you've used. So if you've ever had a can of beans, a can of sweet corn, even it could be a can of dog food. If you have a regular can, you can make a recyclable pot. And all that's necessary is making sure that on the bottom, we put a hole that allows water drainage. But look how simple this is. The person just painted their can and put soil, and they just planted their sage in here. This is one wonderful way to have a garden because not only are you doing good, and we recognize this because we recycle in the park, we can recycle at home as well using things that we find in our home, like these cans. You can also use plastic bottles. I know you guys drink soda once in a while, even though we're trying to stay healthy, for sure. I'm sure you drink soda every once in a while. And this is a wonderful way that you can actually use recyclable items and continue your garden. Do you guys see here the different kinds? This is one herb that's different from this one. And I'm sure that you can label each and every one of these items towards whatever it is. So if this is cilantro, you can even write outside of that water bottle, cilantro, sage, or whatever herbs that you decide to grow in your garden.
Join Avery and I in our adventure into the community to gather all of the things that we need to start our activity. Our activity is an herb garden, so we will be practicing social distancing and maintaining those safety standards as per our current events into the community.
have your mask. We've got our sanitizer. And we're ready to go. And here we are, we've made it here. We're gonna look around to find the store. There it
See
is.
that landscape? I think that one looks, compared to, which one do you think looks better? Look the same, huh?
They look the same, but I like this one better.
Okay. So you want to look at the health of the plant, the leaves, as well as so down here. I like this one.
Yeah, and that one has new
growth. New
growth.
leaves.
So that one looks like it's gonna thrive.
Can you get this? We got that. Now that we've gathered everything that we need, we're going to go ahead and continue practicing our social distancing as we check out, and we're headed out the store. So let's see what type of luck we have today getting out of here. You go around, you look for the checkout location.
Anything that's gonna say check out.
Right here's checkout.
You can even self check out.
Notice the participants here practicing their social distancing between one another. There's a box that's taken off the you can scan it ourselves.
And we are back in our car. We are putting on our sanitizer. Ready for business.
Join us today as we went out and practiced our social distancing or gathering our equipment for our herb garden. And I hope you guys decide to take up and do an herb garden with your family and enjoy the benefits. Until next time, guys, we'll see you later. Bye for now.